Good evening, folks. This is Al Hugh with a video weather update. It is 7:38 on Veterans Day, November the 11th, 2020. Well, here it is. Tropical Storm Eta is going to rain down upon central and then northern Florida. Here is the National Hurricane Center's cone for where this will travel. And let's take a look at the storm surge, anywhere from down by the Keys all the way up into the Panhandle region. You're looking at 2 feet to 5 feet. Tampa Bay region, 3 to 5 feet. This can pose a problem if it hits the 5 foot, 4 foot mark in the Tampa Bay region. Let's take a look at the NAM. Here's the NAM, there's a low pressure center. The thing that's baffling to me in many years of following this, not as many as some, they have not had any recon flights into this system, which they normally do. Now, I know this is the 27th system of the year, but it's just quite interesting that they did not fly any recon missions to get soundings, wind speeds, and pressure. And there you see the low pressure system go off, kind of scrape the Carolina coast, and then goes out to sea. But it kind of takes its time, so it's going to churn things up. Let's take a look at the wind map. And here we have 40, 50 mile an hour winds battering the coast. Those are not, run-of-the-mill type winds, even though for Florida it pretty much is run-of-the-mill. But here you go. As Eta starts to come on shore, you start to see these are, hurricane force winds out here. All right. And, due to the land friction with the sea, it'll weaken a little bit, but you're talking 50, 60 mile an hour winds. Now let's take a look at the gusts. I'm sorry, those are the gusts. Let's take a look at the wind speed. Let me backtrack it here. All right, so you have some gusts that are reaching hurricane force. All right, and you can see hurricane force winds here as it basically scrapes the coast with 50, 60 mile an hour winds. All right, as it rolls through, then it weakens and it starts to turn away. So with that said, we have Eta, we have Theta. All right, Theta is subtropical, very weak. My estimation, I don't know why they named it. I think they just wanted to pad the stats. This became the 29th storm, and then we're going to have Iota. Iota what? Iota will be forming and going west into the Western Caribbean, okay, which will be number 30 on the season. Yes, the most tropical cyclone named storms ever. But the fact being, if you go before satellite data imagery, which was in the 50s, you don't know about the storms that were out here. Like Theta is going to pose a problem to no one. We call it a fish storm. Many storms out in this region back then we had no idea about. 1933, very active. 1886, very active. All we knew about were the storms along the fishing lane in the Gulf, the ones that, of course, made landfall, and the ones that the boats and fishermen and boating industry would report on. Anything out here? Nada. You didn't get a word on it. Okay, so it's very interesting to look at that. So let's take a look at the NAM for us for tonight. It's raining. Oh, yeah, it's raining. Let's play it through here. There's a 3K NAM. You can see the heavier rains moving in, all right, through the night, and then they kind of spread through, and we just have showers. Tomorrow, just a dreary type day. All right, things may clear out a little bit in the afternoon, and then Friday or late Thursday night, okay, we'll have more showers moving through the area. All right, the total precipitation when all is said and done, as we looked at our map here, we're looking at a couple inches of rain possibly. All right, as you say, I was talking about a half of an inch of rain. Well, this is much juicier due to the fact that Eta is taking a different path and it's feeding the subtropical moisture up this way. That's why it's so humid out. And the temperature was up in the upper 60s to 70 degrees. I didn't get above 67 here, shy of the 71 that they were forecasting. But we did hit a couple records the last couple days. And I know I said in my last post that we were not going to do that. Well, I was wrong. I call it out. I'll call myself out on that. I was wrong on that. All right. And that happens. All right. And here we go. See, we're upper 60s here today. Let's run the temperature through here on a GFS, the Global Forecasting System, the American system. And here we go. We see the colder air, damp air moving in through the night into the 40s. And then tomorrow, we really do not get above in the region of mid-50s. Okay, very dreary damp. And then tomorrow night, you can see the 30s start to move in. They start to press southeast. All right, and then they retract a little bit. Saturday, again, not getting out of the 50-degree range around the city to the 40s. And then it gets a little chilly. Then Sunday, we get a little rebound. Okay, nice little rebound there Sunday and Monday. And then the next wave will come through of cold air. That's what you have this time of year. You have the ebb and flow of the warm and the cold. And then decent cold shot comes in here. All right, Tuesday night. Oops, let me play it back a little bit there. Tuesday night, that's a cold shot. All right, and that's pretty good for November. All right, so we'll see frost and freeze again during that time. All right, so once we get past Tuesday, you get a week out. Temperatures are not that reliable. All right, but what is pretty reliable is to take a look at the euro here. These orangey red colors show high pressures. This is at the 500 millibar. You're talking way up in the 18,000 feet, right? And these greenish blue are low pressure, colder, storms, things like that. When you get red heights building over here in the EPO region up by Alaska, and you get them building either in central Canada or over here by Greenland, that means you're basically going to get cold air troughing coming down through these dark blue, greenish troughs into the northeast. So let's see how this plays out. So November is usually an up and down month. All right, so let's take a look and let's see how this plays out. Let's slow this up a little bit as we get towards it. So here comes a trough coming through on Friday, brings that first shot of cold air. All right, we warm up a little bit here, as you can see, with the reddish, orangey. Okay, and then as we get out towards the end of the run, all right, on Sunday and Monday, you could see the other trough swinging through. Now, if we take a look back at 12Z, it was about noontime. We'll run it all the way through here because we'll get 240 hours worth. And we watch this come through. Here comes one trough swinging through. Here comes the second one. West Coast, going to be a big storm again. They're going to break some record colds out there probably with this again because this trough will get deeper because the heights are building here. And the trough swings through. There's Monday, there's Tuesday, there's Wednesday. Now you're looking at it right here. This trough is sitting right on top. This is cold. All right, that's pretty cold for this time of year. It'll probably get deeper because you have this ridge building here and out here over the West Coast. And you have heights building over Greenland. So it's going to block it up a little bit, slow it up. So it won't be so fast to get out of here. Okay? And then the second one, look at this. A piece breaks off and swings through again here. Notice the ridge here. Now notice this is more pronounced. So look at the wave here. Up and over like a roller coaster. Down and through. Right? Very interesting. And then here comes another piece breaks through. So this is like a, now if you look at like a Ferris wheel, just keeps spinning round and round. All right, until, look at the heights build up pretty good here. This is what's called a Scandinavian block building out here. Or an Icelandic. Here's Iceland, like an Icelandic block. It's a different type of nail. So we're out to here. Okay, so let's see it. Let's see it run through here. That's Wednesday. Here it goes. Thursday, another piece breaks through. Another piece tries to break through on the backside. Just keeps spinning around. Okay, and if we get out here, see another piece will spin around. See these heights in Canada and over Alaska high? That means you're dropping colder air down into this region. Let's just take a quick look at the temperatures that they put out at this time. All right, so you can see it's kind of pinkish down here. All right, which is the 20, 30 degree temperature. This is very cold temperatures. These are cold temperatures up here. All right. They're down into the, the negative 30, 40 degree range up here, even at the 60s and 70s below zero. All right. Pretty intense. Okay, for some. All right. Now, let's take a look here. Talking about tropical cyclones, landfalls, and hurricane strength, 1970 to 2019. All right. Dr. Maui and Dr. Pelkey. Okay. Very, very, very smart gentlemen who've been doing this. So if we take a look and we see 1970, landfall, all right, black, category 1 and 2, gray, category 3 plus. Hurricane strength. All right, and as we come all around here, black, category 1 and 2, category 3. Now let's take a look at 1971. 1971, look at that. All right, let's come over here. 1995, 1996, 2005, 2007. So when we look at this, yeah, were there a lot of storms? Absolutely. Is it the worst? No, not by far. Okay? A lot of storms does not equal a bad hurricane season. The number of landfalls equals that. Okay? And the strength of the storms, too, equals that. All right? So we just have to call it what it is. Now, speaking of looking ahead, here is basically warmth building over here and cold coming in on the backside here. All right? This is at the polar vortex level. All right, you have a warming over here, so you have the cold air swinging on the backside. And if you take a look, as it swings around and through, it'll swing down and through this way. So that cold air will come down in shots and waves. All right. This is pretty disturbing, folks. And I've been pretty lacking here in my narrative on what's going on with the food. But we're starting to see they killed 17 million mink in Denmark because they thought they were advancing COVID. All right. Now they're talking about chickens and pigs in this article. Catastrophic new pandemics from supermarket chickens, and also doesn't say in the headline, but also swine and pigs. Hey, the swine flu, remember that? Had to wash our hands, sing happy birthday, and they stopped testing when we hit 60 million infected in the country. But you don't remember that one. All right? Interesting. So we are going to have some issues coming up. All right? Because if they go ahead with this in this country, it's going to be a shame. Poultry are going to be slaughtered left and right for what? Okay, 43 days. 43 days to get a full-grown chicken from a chick, right? From what people who grow chicks and chickens have told me. All right, let's move on here. Here is the Mojo, the Madden-Julian Oscillation, which takes place over the equatorial Pacific, out by Australia, down through the Indian Ocean as well. So when a Mojo goes into phase 1 and 2, when we get into phase 2, you see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 12 days. We call that a slow mover. All right? When it moves that slow, sometimes it'll feed back on itself. So if we're in that phase, this is towards the latter part, right? That's the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Oh, 14th, 15th time frame, right? That cold air starts to bleed in here. 16, 17, 18, 19, all those troughs swinging through, right? All the way out. What starts to happen is in this phase 2, here we are. Okay? That's cold. Blue is cold. Okay, that's below normal. Phase 1, yeah, we're above normal. That's where we are now. All right? And then if it goes into the null phase, then it's just a wash. We just stay in a normal regime of temperatures. Okay, I wrote in my blog about solar and how it changes the jet stream. Here's what we call the meridional flow of the jet. Waviness. The jet gets wavy. Warm here, cold there. Warm here, cold here. That's what happens with the jet. All right? So the changing jet stream can cause, and has shown in history to cause, global cooling. Some people